Okay, we're going to go over page 31, number 1, and I'm going to go through it in depth just to make sure that you are able to understand the mathematical language here. Now, we are starting off with an angle measure that is x degrees, and we're asked what is the measure of its complement, what is the measure of its supplement. And I'm just going to look at the complement portion of this problem. So let's go ahead and imagine we have two angles. Let angle A and angle B be complementary angles. Let's look at several different possible cases. We're going to look at 4 cases. We're going to look at when measure of angle A is 30 degrees, when it's 45 degrees, when it's 72 degrees, and when it's x degrees, because that's our case up here. We'll see if we can notice a pattern. And I'm going to put the work over here that I used to find the measure of angle B. So let's look at case 1 when the measure of angle A is 30 degrees. Let's start off by just writing down what we know is true. The measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B is equal to 90 degrees. Why is that? Because these two angles are complementary. And this is what it means for two angles to be complementary. It means that their sum is equal to 90 degrees. So we do some substitution. I just subbed in 30 degrees for the measure of angle A. I don't know what these are, or I don't have anything to do to change these, so I'm just going to bring them all down. And then we're going to solve for the measure of angle B by subtracting both sides by 30. And we end up with the measure of angle B is 60 degrees. So we go on to the next case. We know the first one is 60 degrees. Now let's say that the measure of angle A is 45 degrees. Again, we start off with what we know. The measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B must be equal to 90 degrees. What is the measure of angle A? In this case, it's 45 degrees. So we plug that in. I bring everything else just straight down. And then I solve for the measure of angle B by subtracting 45 degrees from both sides. We end up with the measure of angle B is equal to 45 degrees. So you're going to notice a pattern here. In both of these cases, we started off with 90, subtracted the measure of angle A to find the measure of angle B. Again, started off with 90 degrees, subtracted the measure of angle A to find the measure of angle B. So we can kind of take a shortcut now and say that this would be our shortcut. It's just taking 90 minus whatever the measure of angle A is. And if I continue this pattern, I'm going to do 90 minus whatever the measure of angle A is. And in this case, it's x. Okay. And now for case 3, we can simplify 90 minus 72. That can simplify to 18. There's nothing I can do to simplify 90 minus x. So that's just the final answer. 90 minus x degrees. So then you would want to think about the same thing, but for the supplement. If you need to look up supplementary angles in the back of the book, you can do that so that you know what that means and how it will change the problem. So that's the part 1, and then you need to do part 2.